The Alternative Digital. Real issues, real talk.
Fellow citizens, following the sequence of events, Uganda seems to be at political crossroads.
I'm not a servant of anybody.
Madam, I know the law.
As such, Alternative Digital brings you the Interface Show with retired Colonel Dr. Kiza Besuje.
Let's keep on the same page on Alternative Digital,
As he gives you the alternatives on the transition question, rule of law, human rights and freedom, youth inclusion in governance, economic stagnation, as he confirms.
I'll be always here Saturday from 10 a.m. in the morning. Be there.
Don't miss the live discussion on the Alternative Uganda, Digital TV Facebook pages, and the Alternative Uganda YouTube channel.
Migrant stakeholders run biya birimu ebiri emisinde gigenda okubeera ku ssaawa ekkololo ku Sande nga 2 October. Tudduka okusonda ssente okuddaabiriza ekifo ekibudaabuda bankuba kyeyo nga bakomyewo. Eddembe lya bannayuganda bakolebwe buvunaanyizibwa bwaffe era kitukakatako okulwanirira eddembe n'obwenkanya mu mirimu gy'abankuba kyeyo. N'olwekyo weetabe mu kuddaabiriza ekifo kino ng'ogula kiti ya $2.5 okuva ku petrol station za Shell Kabalagala, Shell Lugogo, Capital, Shell Najjanankumbi, Shell Nansana, Shell Namave ne Shell Biwagidwa Star Times, Reham, Fresh Dairy, Roofings, Housing Finance Bank, Maritime Cargo, Oro na bikutusibwa ku ofisi ya President ku nsonga z'emitala w'amayanja, Uwera ne Migrant Workers Voice, nebitegekebwa Sinat Advertising.
Fellow citizens, following the sequence of events, Uganda seems to be at political crossroads.
I'm not a servant of anybody.
Madam, I know the law.
As such, Alternative Digital brings you the Interface Show with retired Colonel Dr. Kiza Besuje.
Let's keep on the same page on Alternative Digital,
As he gives you the alternatives on the transition question, rule of law, human rights and freedom, youth inclusion in governance, economic stagnation, as he confirms.
I'll be always here Saturday from 10 a.m. in the morning. Be there.
Don't miss the live discussion on the Alternative Uganda, Digital TV Facebook pages, and the Alternative Uganda YouTube channel.
The Alternative Digital. Real issues, real talk.
A very well good morning to our dear viewers. You're most welcome on this show. This is Eteeka and I am Kato Tumsime hosting this show. Today is the 27th of September 2022 and it's 5 minutes past 11. You're most welcome to this show. And this is the Alternative Digital streaming live on our Facebook pages, the Alternative Uganda and Digital TV at the same time. Later on, our show is uploaded on our YouTube channel, the Alternative Uganda. You can always subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on our pages, Facebook pages, the Alternative Uganda, TikTok TV, like, comment, share, invite friends, come and watch the show and also get to learn something that they have not heard about, that they didn't know or that they knew little about, and we can learn together. Fena twekomere mukumanya tulabe kyekigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga mu nsonga zino ez'amateeka era tulabe bukya bwe tusobola okwekuumira mu kumanya amateeka ag'enjawulo naki ebiyinza otutuukako bwe tuba nga tetusobola kugoberera amateeka ago. In the past weeks and in a few weeks from today back on, tubadde n'amateeka ag'enjawulo agayisiddwa paalamenti yaffe y'eggwanga. Tubadde ne bye tuyita statutory instruments and guidelines eziyisiddwa Chief Justice w'eggwanga lino, and mwezi ezimu tuyina eno legal notice number 8 of 2022. Amateeka gaffe gakkiriza Chief Justice w'eggwanga lino wa mukulu Owiny Dollo kubaako legal notice zayisa in statutory instruments, and mwezi ezimu tuyina the Constitution Bail Guidelines for Courts of Judicature Practice Directions of 2022. Ojjukira emabegaawo omukulu w'eggwanga yavaayo n'ayogera ku nsonga za bail na bukya bwe yali alowooza kooti engeri gye zandyeyisizaamu naddala nga zikwatagana n'ensonga eno eya bail. Kati following that discussion and that topic by the President, Chief Justice came up with these new guidelines under the legal notice number 8 of 2022. Kyengenda okusaba buli oyo atulaba genda ku simu and you can search for the Constitution Bail Guidelines for Courts of Judicature Practice Directions of 2022. Soma olabe biki ebiri mu tteeka eryo nga Chief Justice bwe yalisiza. Then today we shall be talking about a famous amendment bill of 2022. This bill is about the Computer Misuse Amendment Bill of 2022. Eteeka lino libadde ly'amaanyi nnyo mu maaso g'Abannayuganda, era buli omu abadde nga azze ng'alyogerako. Buli omu alina idea ye, buli omu alina engeri gy'alirabamu era alina ebirowoozo by'aliteekako. Lino etteeka lize nga tuli mu kaseera technology weyongedde okukulaakulanya. The technology has advanced so much, and note that we have the Computer Misuse Act of 2011 as the existing law. Not that alone, we have different provisions under the Penal Code eziguidinga bw'ovuma omuntu ku social media oba n'omutyobola ekitiibwa kye oba kye twandiyise defamation, how the laws act upon you. Tuyina thoughts in the same manner and how a person can actually go to court and maybe get justice if he feels the words or the communication of a different individual have impacted his being in the society. Olunaku olwaleero tubamukisa nti we have a counsel here who is already with us here, Counsel Rukoma Ronald, who happens to be an advocate of the High Court, and Rukoma has been in the forefront, trying to fight for the rights of people, trying to, advocate for the same. And we shall be getting how he feels and his ideas about the same bill. We must note that nga tetunaba kutuuka ku amendment of any act, there must be a lacuna or kye twandiyise a problem that the amendment of the act is intended to solve. And when that problem is identified, then we look into the existing laws. Do the existing laws actually provide a solution to solve the problem that has erupted at the time? If the answer is no, then that's when we opt for an amendment. And if the answer is yes, then we deal out with the existing law so that we can solve the problem that is existing. You are most welcome today, Mr. Rukoma.
Thank you.
And you can take this opportunity to say hello to our viewers.
Hello to the viewers. As he has addressed me, I am Ronald Rukoma. It's a pleasure being part of this program today.
I just gave a brief introduction about you, so you can introduce yourself in details so that the viewers can know who is addressing.
I am Ronald Rukoma. I am a lawyer, and I also play as the president, the lawyer's desk, which is basically we serve mentorship programs to the lawyers, also advocates in the practice already.
Ooh.
So it's a pleasure being there.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rukoma. And then maybe you talked about the lawyer's desk, and especially in this era where we have people, facing problem of mental health and the rest. Is the lawyer's desk trying to solve the advocates and young lawyers out there who are facing the same challenges?
Yeah, basically that's what we do. We are looking at mentoring the lawyers and already the advocates in practice, because like you have mentioned, of course, there is also that element of mental health. We play around with it, and we do serve legal advice, and also comfort them to show them that there is a future ahead.
So how about in this economic crisis? Do you also help them financially so that they can keep themselves, you know, in good health and not worrying about the economic crisis?
We shall come to the bit of the financial system, but as of now, basically we are there to encourage them and know that they are here to live, and to survive. So at the end of the day, they shall overcome all the challenges.
All right, then we start from that same point. Today we are discussing, you know, the implications of this Computer Misuse Amendment Bill of 2022 as it has been passed by Parliament, and we are waiting for the President to assent to the same so that it can become law now. And Mr. Rukoma, as somebody who has been so much into social media, using social media and technology, I want to pick your view first of all on whether we needed this amendment in the first place. Did we need this amendment?
You know, when there is to be an amendment, of course, there must be something that the amendment is trying to introduce, something new that has not been in existence.
Okay.
And when you look at the 4 major provisions that the Parliament is looking forward to amend, we basically have them already in the existing laws.
Okay.
And my personal view, as of course we shall keep on discussing, is that we still had to strengthen these laws dependent on the existing laws, other than us going ahead to have an amendment, because at the end of the day, it shall create inconsistencies to the already existing laws.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, when you look at the object of the bill, first of all, the bill is intended to amend the Computer Misuse Act of 2011 and to enhance the provisions of unauthorized access to information or data. That's one of, of the objects. To prohibit sharing of unsolicited information, and to prohibit the sharing of any information relating to a child without authorization from a parent. And in my own thinking and my own view is that I keep asking myself this question. If actually this bill is assented to and it is now a law, shall any person give you any authorization so that you can be able to publish any information relating to him or her, trying to mistreat this child, as the law suggests, as the amendment suggests?
You see, if we say that there is already an existing law, that means that we should not also have fear of the provisions. Because if we claim that there is already existing laws, then why should we have fear of this amendment? But basically, of course, it's a bit ambiguous, because you cannot state that you need to, because when you look at the Data Protection and Privacy Act, which is already in existence, you find that it again provides for that element of the children's data to be protected. So when you come up and have this amendment, the best element I look at is the punishments. Because when you look at this amendment, the proposed bill, you find that it is just trying to come up with heavier and heavier punishments.
But at some point, I think the punishment should be equivalent to the, to the offense committed by a person. Should we have it as such exorbitant as it is? Because when you look at some of, the suggested punishments here, includes fines of 750 currency points. And our viewers should know that each currency point is 20,000 Ugandan shillings. Isn't this too much money, to ask from somebody?
Yeah, and that is what
for
brings
such a
in
small offense, as I should say.
That is now what brings in the interpretation of now the Constitution. Because when you read the Constitution, it provides and it gives you a right to freedom of speech, freedom of expression.
The right to privacy itself.
Yeah, and the right to privacy. But at the end of the day, when you put such fines, then you're restricting people, especially now, for example, you who have such digital networks online. So you're getting restricted. And at the end of the day, when you look at that bill, now just imagine you have attended a wedding, and you're supposed to capture some of the
events for memories, of course.
Yeah, for memories. Now just imagine you were supposed to take Ronald's event. You take a picture, but at the end of the day, within his picture, you have captured some other person. Are you going to be taken to courts of law for having violated the law?
Ati Eteeka eno amendment bwe baba bagiyisiza then jasobola okutwala mu court.
Amendment eno egenda kukosaamu ku bantu. Kubanga ssemateeka nga bwe nkugambye nti alagira abantu nti olina eddembe eryo bwebanga olina eddembe okwogera ebintu ebyo ebikuluma expression. Olina eddembe eryo nga omuntu okubaako kyoyogera kyolaba ekikunyigiriza. So kati bw'oleeta etteeka n'ogamba nti gwe okwogera oba okukuba ekifaananyi ky'omuntu nga takukkiriza
neetaaga olukusa
musango olina kusooka kufuna lukusa. Kakati omuntu ali ku mukolo ng'embaga, bw'onooba ogenze ku mbaga n'okwata ebifaananyi, omuntu oyo buli omwana onomala kumubuuza.
Anti etteeka
olwaleero kati mwenga bali mu byempuliziganya mu byamawulire, ojja kukeera olwaleero ogende mu kitundu ky'erukuli, olina shojo olina okapturinga, oyagala kumanya biki ebiruma abaana ba ghetto okyokugeza, ogenda kubaako ebifaananyi by'okwata omuli abaana abato.
Anti kati etteeka litugamba nga tonakwata ebyo ebifaananyi sooka olabe muzadde we oba omuntu yenna amuvunaanyizibwako asooka kukkirize okukuba ebifaananyi n'okukozesa ebifaananyi by'oyo
manyi bwe tuba tutunuulira amateeka, when you're going to amend the law, osooka n'otunuulira what is the intention of the lawmaker. I think when you look at the intention of the lawmaker, abagezaako okuleeta amendment eyo bo nga bo intention zaabwe tezandibadde embi bwe baba bakunnyonnyola, because I've taken time to listen to some of them trying to address the views, their personal view, depending on the same law. Naye ojja kusanga nti bwe baba bakunnyonnyola ebigendererwa byabwe birungi, naye ate bwe bagenze okukola etteeka bye baataddemu ate oluusi binyigiriza singa bye bayogedde bye baataddemu. Because when you make a law or an amendment, n'ogamba nti hate speech for example, nti omuntu ayogera emboozi eneenyiiza omulala kankitwale bwe ntyo nezija nenkwogerako ekintu, bandibadde batutegeeza hate speech kyeki.
Actually, they must have interpreted.
Thank you so much.
Bichi kubanga kati ekikunyiiza si kye kinyiiza mukulu Rogers, si kye kinyiiza mukyala Lilian, si kye kinyiiza. So nze nsobola okukola information n'ensuubira nti tejja kukunyiiza naye gwe n'ogifuna bula.
Nze gyenva osanga abantu nga bagamba balina ekigambo kye bakozesa bannaffe ab'oludda luli ne bagamba mu mutima mulungi naye bagamba nti leeba omwiru ogwo. N'owulira muli nga alinga
akuvodde
naye ate ye takirabamu buzibu kugamba nti laba omuntu oyo. So bw'anajja n'akiŋŋamba n'ennyigirizibwa kunze it's a hate.
It's promoting hate speech.
Hatred. So kati mutwale mu kooti. So ndowooza nti etteeka eryo likyabulamu era omukulembeze w'eggwanga yeetaaga okulyekennenya obulungi nga tanaliteekako mukono. Baddemu bali revising ebigambo ebimu batunnyonnyole kye bitegeeza. Because now what is the scope when you talk of hate speech?
And those are some of the issues nze naawe ze twebuuza. Era omulabi waffe gwe njagala omunnyonnyole scope, what are we considering now to say that this information, you know,
kyenyinza okutegeeza nti obudde buno etteeka eryo kati bwe lisigala nga bwe liri teritunnyonnyola, teriri clear bwe lisigala nga bwe liri. Kiva nkugamba nti omukulembeze tanaliteekako mukono yeetaaga n'alyekenneenya.
Naye eyatebolinze eno bill munnamateeka ate aludde mu field, which I presume that he has experience to know some of these provisions that we are talking about. You know, the principle of legality under the Constitution. It is clear that the law must specify in clear terms the offense and the penalty.
Yes.
Why? Why did he come up with such a bill? Tusuubire nti waliwo ekyambuli emabega?
No. I don't want to go political today.
No, and I'm not going
However much
political.
because for today, I am looking at the legal
The
side.
legal side, yes. The legal perspective.
The person who brought that bill, I think that is Honorable Muhammad Nsereko.
Yes.
In his personal opinion, that is what he managed to come up with.
Okay.
Naye saagala tutunulire ye ng'omu nti ye yaleeta endowooza ye okusinziira engeri gy'alaba abaffe gye tukozesaamu omutimbagano.
Yes.
So he came up with his opinion. As a leader, he tabled the bill.
Okay.
But now the question is, when he tabled that bill, abalina mu parliament okuliyisaamu akakiiko.
The legal and drafts committee.
Legal. Even the one on ICT.
Yes. Supposed to be consulted.
Yes.
At some point.
Bali consulted. Era bwe baba basomye etteeka eryo ddala lisaanidde because ye nga ye aleeta bill ye n'agitebolinga but he does not pass it alone.
Yes, that's so true.
And that is why we are here. If the president is listening today, naye yennyini ajja kuddamu yeetegereza agambe nti no katuddemu twetegereza ekintu kino because now he's the only person
who can save us now from this.
Yes, ne bwe kinaagenda nga bwe kiri eddembe ly'obuntu ligenda kulinnyirirwa. And at the end of the day, we shall be recognized as a country with no democracy.
Okay. Now, from the same bill, if I may read verbatim here, part 2, the defects in the existing laws. This bill suggests that since the enactment of the Computer Misuse Act in 2011, the world has continued to experience rapid advancement in computer-generated technology. And this has led to the adoption of numerous online and social media platforms as a means of communication and interaction. So this has actually forced him to come up with this. It means that the whole intention is now to curb the use of social media platforms, and which I feel buli munnauganda ali eyo gwe yengeri gye tusigalizamu ng'abannayuganda bw'oba nga ofunye ekitakusanyisiza ng'olina okiisa. And we have seen social media come up bu videos obumu nga kasembeyako n'omukyala yali akuba omwana we bubi. It came on social media. But if this bill now is a law, it means nga tonakwatako ka video nga mukyala oyo atulugunyiza oyo omwana tujja kasharinga kubanga bw'okasharinga now it will be unsolicited information and then you will be brought to courts of law. Olowooza bannamateeka galiwo, for example the Computer Misuse Act of 2011 didn't consider the concept of social media at the time?
Currently, you and I know that there is an advancement in technology today.
Yes, that is not in this.
And you and I believe, if you do so believe, that indeed we needed an amendment in the Computer Misuse Act. I don't doubt. I have no doubt. We really needed an amendment, but I don't think that the areas that were suggested are the areas that we needed to amend.
Okay.
I believe that people are misusing social media today because you have watched various videos where people are attacking one another, where people are using such kind of words that are not nice to hear to and listen. Of course, even if we want the social media, at the end of the day, we go back to our morals. Morality is key.
However much morality is key, I don't know which school of thought you believe in and you follow, but we cannot ignore the kind of law because it lacks some sense of morality. And
yes,
something that is morally wrong actually is not illegal.
Yeah, it's not illegal, but it's immoral.
It's immoral. So yes, morality and the law should be separated at some point.
No, morality and law, that's a debate for another day because morality and law move hand in hand. When you follow the laws of today, you will find that some of them move in hand with the biblical teachings.
Yes, but do you believe that some do not actually correspond to the morals?
Yes. So, I want to go back to your point that when you are taking you're recording this lady who is beating up a child, you have not asked for authorization. And those are some of the lacunas we have. But I want to still believe that our courts of judicature still have, they still have independence.
Yes.
And if you recorded such a video without authorization, of course the act is illegal.
Yes.
I don't think courts of law will find you guilty at the end of the day.
Now you are thinking for courts of law.
I am not thinking for courts of law, but courts of law will not find you guilty where you take a video of someone who is doing something that is illegal. They cannot. However much, still it leaves a lacuna in the law.
That's what I'm
Let
trying
these
to say.
people sit and tell us to what extent are you supposed to take that video. You understand?
Yes.
Now, they would have created another paragraph
Specifying the limit.
specifying. Because when you talk of children, look at Section 8
Yes.
of the Data Protection and Privacy
Privacy
Act.
Act, yeah.
It specifically talks about that paragraph. In fact, I think it was copied the way it was from Section 8 of the Data Protection Act
And placed here.
and placed the way it is. Because it also speaks of you seeking authorization.
Yes.
But the question is, to what extent? If someone is pouring acid to the daughter. Today we have children who are staying with their stepmothers, their aunties, you know. Someone is busy mistreating the child, and you want to say, I am protected by the law, you have to seek authority from me. No. So I would pray to the government
Yes.
to sit back, revise this law. In fact, if possible, they would delete all those provisions, in my perception.
As they are suggested
The
in the
whole-
amendment.
Because the same provisions from the first one up to the last one, we have them in the existing laws.
You know,
The
Article
Constitution is also clear.
Article 27, clause 2 talks about the right to privacy.
Yes, and we also
And-
have
and-
a whole law on privacy.
And actually, this Computer Misuse Amendment Act aims at protecting the right to privacy, as they suggest in this.
Yes.
Should we say that actually the use of social media and advancement in technology has limited and deprived us from the right to privacy?
Not really per se.
Yes.
Because, you see, it comes back to what you use social media for. Because at the end of the day, yes, there are people who are violating and misusing the internet. Now, they can be regulated within the existing laws.
Okay.
For me, the only thing I see that has changed in the amendment is the
Is the
fact that
punishment.
these people are introducing or coming up with heavy punishments. Look at the provision which talks about public officers.
Yes. Vacating offices.
There
as
is a
long
law
as-
very clear that where you have gone against that, the officer,
conviction.
yeah, it's supposed
If
to
you
be
are
at least-
convicted of any offense, criminal in nature, then you must vacate the office.
Yes.
And it is now brought in the same act.
Yeah, that's not called for.
But-
And it's even going to be inconsistent with various other laws. Because now you will find other laws providing for 5 years. Is it the Data Protection Act? If you're a public office and you go against, they provided for 5 years. Now, in this amendment, they're talking of the 10. Now, what should we go for? What if someone proceeded under the other first act, the Data Protection and Privacy Act? Now, for me, I come up in my defense and move under the computer misuse.
They talk about hate speech and sharing of false, malicious, and unsolicited information in this amendment bill. We are here on the show, the two of us, and we are trying to give, what we think about this law. Who now determines that the information or the words that you have said on our show are malicious, are false, and actually they are unsolicited, and maybe they promote hate speech? Are we not being limited to that level as well?
You see, I think the lawmakers do not take time
To research.
to research, like you're saying, but
Yes.
again, to reach out to the public. Because for someone who is looking at having an amendment like that,
Yes.
I think you know the case of Charles Onyangobo.
Yes, and
In reference to
and
Section
when-
50 of the Penal Code,
Yeah, that talked about sedition,
publication of
false information.
it's no longer. So you cannot say and come and have such an amendment where you're saying now if someone publishes false information. Two, I am talking about a bill which has been produced by a member of parliament.
Who is a lawyer?
Yes,
An
but
advocate.
I am speaking and referring to him. Did I first ask his permission to talk about him?
You are not.
However much I'm not discussing him, but I'm talking about something that he came up with.
Yes.
So the act then failed to tell us what is unsolicited, you know,
And what is
and what is solicited.
information?
What is the scope?
You know, I know that you are in so many WhatsApp groups,
Yeah.
and people actually share different information that at some point you find them useful to you, and that information is most of the times unsolicited for. Somebody just thinks about it and he thinks you like it, naka sharing and naka surayo. Doesn't this law prohibit such a person?
Of course it does.
Are we not losing at that point as a society and consumers of the information online?
Because we may want to limit people. Yes, we all agree that freedom of speech and conscience and whatsoever,
Yes.
it's not absolute. It's the role of a state to limit. Because however much you have your right to speak anything, but still you have to put into consideration that whatever you're speaking does not impact on you. You understand?
Yeah, yeah.
So, I also find out that before this bill is signed, it's just my humble prayer as a lawyer, not as a politician, but as a lawyer,
Yes.
that they should revise it. However much they have good intentions, because when you hear to some of them speaking, they will tell you that however much we have existing laws,
Yeah.
but they are not strong enough. So meaning that them putting in such punishments they found it, why didn't they look at just amending the other existing ones and adding something?
Okay. In this amendment bill,
So another thing that if this law goes the way it is, it can also prohibit development, especially on digital and those online platforms.
who are actually being
Yes.
creative.
Yeah, because people are being creative online, and you may look at it, because remember, something that offends you does not offend you.
Does not offend you. Yeah, that's so true. I wanted to read to you section 4 of this amendment bill. And it talks about insertion of section 23A in the Principal Act. And section 23A talks about hate speech. One is that a person shall not write, send or share any information through a computer which is likely to A, ridicule, degrade or demean another person, group of persons, a tribe, an ethnicity, a religion or gender. B, create divisions among persons, a tribe, an ethnicity, a religion or gender. C, promote hostility against a person, group of persons, tribe, an ethnicity, a religion or gender. Are these new to us?
Of course they are not.
So what actually inspired? I want to take your opinion now as a lawyer, as somebody who has been using social media for a while. Are these things new to us? And what actually prompted the legislators and the full house actually to pass this amendment bill?
You see, Kato, I want you to put it at the back of your mind that when passing these bills, we have to, like you're asking, to look at the intention
Yes, of the legislator.
of the legislator.
Yes.
And in my personal analysis, I find out that what the intention of the lawmaker is, if they are to explain to you, is not what is on paper. Because I've had an opportunity of listening to various people discussing on the same point.
Okay.
And you will realize that the intentions of the lawmaker are totally different. For the lawmaker is looking at an element, they will even explain to you that will you be happy when you see your child being practicing acts of pornography, you know? But when you come to the law, that is on paper. It's not what exactly is.
So they preach something and do something else.
Yes. And I want to talk to our viewers that if they have an opportunity, they should not listen to these politicians. Let them find time and read the law. Find someone to help you read the law and understand
And actually understand, not only reading.
and understand it. Because at the end of the day, we have politicians who have their personal interests. And someone in Lukuli down there will not understand what is in there, but he will understand what their leader said. If the MP of Kampala says we need this bill, he will have people to support him, but they don't know what is exactly there.
Okay.
If another leader says we don't need it, they will support him, but they don't know what is exactly there. And at the end of the day, ignorance is not a defense.
That's so true.
So we have colleagues down there who will go on to share such information on our platforms. You have seen various times people get, I think on WhatsApp they call them emojis. Someone gets some others pic and they put it there. They share all over, Kato smiling, everywhere.
Yes.
Isn't that entering into your privacy?
But first of all, now, let me also talk as an individual.
Yes.
We have social media, for example, Facebook, where you have a number of friends that you even have not met before that you do not know. You get your photos and post them just on your, I don't know what is it called, your story on Facebook or your timeline or whatever it is called. Are you still doing privacy to yourself?
Of course, the moment I come out and share my photo as an individual,
Yes.
I am okay with it to go public.
So when somebody gets it there and also shares it to another person, should that be an offense?
According to the law, it is.
Yeah, according to
But
this
now,
actually
according to the
proposed
law,
amendment.
yes,
It is
before
an
you
offense.
share my picture or any information about me, seek my consent.
For example, we have Google here. I will type Rukoma Ronald and they will bring all your data. Did Google think about your data or you are the one who actually put your data there? And we should ask ourselves, why did you put such data on such platforms?
So,
Is it still privacy?
of
That's
course,
my question.
Of course, that's what I said, that by the time I accept to put my images and whatsoever online, I am free to share.
Yes.
Meaning people can find it.
And also,
One goes to your Facebook account, they get that picture and also use it.
so why now do you bring such a rule out to
So,
prohibit me from sharing the information that you already shared somewhere?
yes, now that is where this law is missing the point.
Okay.
So, I would pray that the drafters of this bill go back and revise it.
Should we say that the parliament is lacking a sense of, trying to find out what exactly is needed at the time before they come up with such amendments?
I think the parliament these days, I want to just speak a little about it. I think the parliament these days is failing to come back down to the public to inquire.
To inquire and find out.
I may have a position as an individual, because members of parliament are individuals. I may have as an individual, but what is down there in public? If they had solicited all this information that we are sharing now, because the mere fact that we are debating it is the fact that they did not come to us.
That's why it actually attracts our attention.
Yes.
To discuss and find out what is in
Yes.
the same bill.
But if they had gone to the civil society organizations,
Yes.
if they had reached out to the public, individuals themselves, we would not be here debating it as.
But is
A
that
political
something new that these parliamentarians actually don't come to consult us when they are coming up with such
Yeah,
laws?
these days I think they don't. Because
It has now become a habit.
yes, they don't take time to consult.
Okay.
If a member of parliament is offended, maybe by an attack of other persons, because they are the ones to table the bill, they will sit back and
They have
say
that
we have,
privilege.
yeah, they will end up coming up with such bills.
Okay.
Because now when you look at that bill, to me, I find out that they did not take time to consult.
Okay.
That is why we are debating it right now.
That is...
If they consulted, they did not take the views of the people they consulted from.
Okay, that is Rukoma Ronald discussing with us the implications of the Computer Misuse Amendment Bill of 2022. And here, I want to go through a few comments here. Jeremiah Mchibi, thank you for watching. Twalibu Pro says, and then these are the comments. They are not my words, but I'm reading the comments of our viewers. You can also join the conversation and comment, share, like, and you also invite people to come and get to know what we are discussing about today. Twalib Pro says the Computer Misuse Act gave me a chance to determine the myopic nature of Muhammad Nsereko. Okay. It should actually change to carry right amendment. That is Twalib for you. And Norman, thank you for watching. Majega, yes sir, is watching with us. Innocent Ineviona tuning in live from Greater Massacre. And to him, Norman says, I think there is a fundamental problem with our parliament. Firstly, it is full of mature yet ignorant Ugandans with a paid-for title of honorable. Intentionally, they don't read or make research about their own old laws. As such, they have resorted to duplicating most of the laws simply to portray to their naive electorate how busy they are. In my opinion, in my option, our parliament confuses being busy to being productive with their exaggerated sense of self-importance. That's Norman. What is your say about the same comment?
I don't want to attack Parliament as an institution.
You are not attacking Parliament. These are the thoughts of our viewers.
These are people that...
and it is their right actually to have their opinions.
But you sought for my opinion.
Yes, on the same.
Because personally, I believe that these are people who come to us as electorates and opt to take them to Parliament because we believe they will have to do something better for us. But I think I have mentioned on the same that Parliament today, on some bills, I may ask you, how many chances have you found, you as Kato, have you gotten to have a member of Parliament reaching out to you from your constituency, asking you on a certain bill whether it would be effective or not?
I have not got any.
So,
even when I try to reach out to them.
How many times have you found out that members of Parliament in your constituencies are calling upon their electorates to share with them
the truth is
a certain law like the computer misuse? Because this is a law that is going to curb most of us.
Affect me and you.
Yes, I will say us because it could be me, it could be you. Because this is a law which is coming up to either determine whether you will be in jail or you will remain outside.
Me, I have not
to enjoy.
I have not received any of my MPs actually since I was a young boy.
So that's what I want to ask.
Even when I try to reach out to them, they
so I pray that before such laws are made, let them come back to us so that we can stop having such conversations on such bills.
And some other comment from Teddy Tenjo, thank you for watching. We have Children's Act. We have constitutional rights to privacy. We have laws against malice and blackmail. What new challenge are the said amended coming to address? Like we have been saying, strictly, we are just duplicating most of these old laws that we have.
Yes, like I mentioned, that in my personal opinion, all these laws should be deleted. In my personal opinion.
The way it is.
The way it is. It is not bringing up anything new apart from punishments.
And which punishment can be?
Yes. They are already punishments, but these ones are just being heavier.
Heavier.
Because the truth is, from one, talk of hate speech, that's sectarianism.
Yes.
We already have that one.
We already have
it
captured in a penal code.
Talk about unsolicited information and what? That is the Data Protection and Privacy Act. In fact, when you look at Section 7, Section 8, Section 8 is about sharing information with children.
Without authorization.
Look at Section 19, Section 13 of the Data Protection Act. It covers everything. that we have
that
in
we
here.
are talking
And
about.
the major purpose of coming up with this bill is privacy, when you read it,
Okay.
which is already protected.
Then some other comments from Ryan Ruede. She says the laws made are working for a minority group of people and affecting the majority. Should we say she's true to say that way?
My position is no, because when it's law, it's law. Some positivist scholars,
Yes.
will tell you that law is law. It has a punishment, even if it is a lawmaker that has proposed for this bill.
Okay.
The moment he goes against either of the provisions in there,
It will come up.
it will capture them. You get my point?
Okay.
So look at sorry to refer to the Public Order Management Act. At the time of bringing up that bill, there was a lot of controversies in the public. But at the end of the day, the people who were promoting the same, of course, at time T, they found themselves being captured under the same law. So to me, the law will work for all of us, neither for the majority or for the minority. I don't know the determinant of majority and minority, but what I'm sure of, when the moment it is signed by the president, it can even capture the president tomorrow.
Okay. So should we say that whatever these MPs are trying to come up with is a duplication? Or there is some sense they are trying to bring?
No, it's a duplication. That's the right word.
Or should we say that they are looking for accountability from the electorates, that since they are all, and one of their major roles is to legislate, they are actually legislating?
Now, if you're looking for accountability, is it a major problem for the electorates today?
Because if they are duplicating whatever we have already, what should we call that?
I think according to the people who are proposing the bill, maybe they have other intentions and they feel that coming up with this bill, according to them, because this is their personal opinion, they are capturing something important. But as in a perspective as a lawyer,
Yes.
I don't find anything new in the bill,
Okay.
other than the
Duplicate.
stringent punishments.
All right, our viewers, you're a great viewer. Thank you for always following us, and thank you for the comments that are coming through. And we shall always be here every Tuesday to give you the bits, to give you information about different laws that you could be knowing, that you couldn't be knowing, that you could be knowing a little about. And today we are glad we have Councillor Koma Ronald discussing the implications of the Computer Misuse Amendment Bill of 2022. We are waiting for the President to either assent to it, refer it back to Parliament, maybe to make amendments, or to just deal with it so that they can retable it and talk about it. Now, Mr. Rukoma, I know time is not on our side, but I want to pick your view about this new statutory instrument, you know, the legal notes by the Chief Justice about the constitutional and bail guidelines, following up the discussion and, you know, the comments from the President that the judiciary was actually misusing their right to grant bail. And a key point in the new guidelines is that if they suspect that you are likely to commit another offense, then that's a ground enough for you to be denied bail. What's your take on the same as a lawyer and somebody who is actually fighting for the human rights and the rest?
I had an opportunity of listening to the president in Uganda Law Society.
Okay.
And he made it clear when he communicated to the president, informing him of the acts which I believe that the president is aware of. We believe that we have the judiciary is an independent institution of government,
Okay.
which has to play its role without interference other than the checks and balances from other institutions. And a right to bail, we all know that it's not mandatory. You don't have it. It's not mandatory that you must be granted
They must
bail.
be granted bail, yes.
It's conditional. It's at the discretion of either the judge or the magistrate.
So when the Chief Justice suggests that if you are likely to commit another offense, you should not be granted bail, are they not taking the discretional powers of the magistrate or the judge?
Depending on the conditions and the circumstances surrounding the proposed guidelines,
Okay.
we may think that the judiciary is being influenced maybe by the executive.
Okay.
Because if you say that if you're suspected, what is the determinant that I'm suspected of?
The
committing
determinant is
another
still
offense?
left for courts and, you know, the judicial officers
How
to
will,
determine.
how will a magistrate or a judge determine that I'm suspected of committing
That
another
brings
offense?
my question of, isn't the Chief Justice actually trying to preempt the powers and the discretionary powers of the magistrate and judges?
Yes.
While
And
dealing with
this is
this.
the challenge we have. Because right now, I would expect, with due respect, the Chief Justice and the judiciary to be fighting for the rights, for people to have the right to be granted bail. Because just assume if people are always denied bail, how many prisons do we have?
They are actually very few.
What they before?
Outnumbered.
So for me, I would pray that the independence of judiciary is guaranteed. Let judiciary act independently.
Okay.
But if we move on with these actions, because now when the President of Uganda Law Society informed the President of the issues that arise when people are granted bail, when he informed of the President of the actions of the different organs in the executive that come up to interfere with the independence of judiciary, according to the President's speech, it's like the President supported those other organizations to interfere with the independence of judiciary. Now, the mere look at all that, if we have such guidelines that are looking forward to denying people their right to apply for bail, then I find it that there is some hand trying to push the judiciary on the rock. Because let them leave it to the magistrates and the judges.
So that they can always
Let them have their discretion. If they find out that I don't deserve to be granted bail, well and good.
Then it should be up to them, not...
Yes. But if the judiciary itself now starts to dictate through such guidelines, we are likely to have no democracy anymore in our country.
Okay.
Of which we always pray for, that our country is seen as democratic, and with a major element as a lawyer of rule of law.
Rule of law.
The moment we have to lose such rights, then we are losing the element of rule of law, which is key in an independent society like Uganda.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rukoma. As we come up to the end of the show, I will read this comment from Tumuhimbise Norman, who says, this law, just like so many, this law, just like so many, is clear indication that some constituencies transferred what would be a constituency problem to a national one when they sent such MPs to Parliament. Such MPs should have remained to their villages and their ill-reasoning would have remained a local problem rather than now when they have become a national disaster. It is sad indeed. Those are the words of Norman. And he's entitled to his opinions, and like Rukoma is entitled to his. That is what he thinks, and he thinks such MPs should have remained the problem of a small constituency, of a small village where they come from, not a national disaster, as he characterizes them. Mr. Rukoma, in just like 2 minutes, you can give your parting shots.
Thank you very much for hosting me, first and foremost. It's a pleasure meeting you again.
All right, thank you.
And I want to inform the public that very many laws are being made.
Yes.
Very many laws are being amended. don't listen to politicians. Read those laws. If you cannot read, ask someone to interpret for you. Because if you take the words of those politicians, they are also having personal interests, in my view.
Okay.
So, if I am the MP of Zimbabwe today, and I know where the interests of my people are, I will support the bill or deny.
Okay.
Now, at the end of the day, I forget that my people are the ones to suffer. So I urge all the public to go back and read that bill, and also urge to our members of parliament that they have forgotten that we are the electorate. Let them come back and consult. If they consult, we shall not have such debates. If these people consulted, then they did not put into consideration what was consulted. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rukoma, for creating time with us, and thank you, our dear viewers, for always following, commenting, and keeping the discussion flowing. It has been our program, Tekachi, but the key pointers that every one of us should take home are that we should keep ourselves in knowing what is new, what is trending, and actually what is important in the proposed amendments in the laws that are existing. And this is why we come up with this show, to educate you, to teach you, to explain to you, and actually to take you through what different laws suggest and how better can we deal out with them. We shall link up next Tuesday, the same time, 11 to midday, on our program Tekachi. I have been Katoto Msime, and see you next Tuesday, and have a lovely afternoon, and may God bless you.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.